What's up, traders? It's Vincent, aka VinnBoss. Welcome back to VinnBoss Signal Factory, where real traders grow real accounts. Here at VinnBoss Signal Factory, we are building a community of real traders, people who trade smart, stay disciplined, and grow real accounts with real strategies. I've been trading the markets for years now, studying price action and understanding market structure, helping traders master consistency. Everything I share here comes straight from real market experience, not just theory. So, traders, with all that being said, let's go straight over to the markets and understand what really happened yesterday and what we can do today to counter that. Now, without wasting much time, traders, yesterday we were expecting to see a bounce to reach our supply zones so that we can go and look for bearish patterns and formations to the downside. But instead, what did happen in the market was we had a straight push to the downside, which really represented, as you can see, this is the real account traders community chart. So after that, we realized that there is a continuation pattern, of course, in the market waiting for us. So let me just zoom in with this. Yes. So traders, what now? After this push was significant yesterday, what does this mean? This means now we are now structured to the downside. And with that being said, traders, this was the pullback beginning from yesterday. We can still look for bearish patterns and formations from this level, but we do have a very serious sell zone right here that can continue up and break the low from yesterday right here from at 1.14700, and then after breaking this low, a pullback will be imminent to retest again and then follow through with the continuation. This is what I think will happen tomorrow or today later on. So with that being said, remember we are being cautious because Friday it's the non-farm payroll, and with that being said, traders, a lot of volatility is coming in the market on Friday. So with that being said, traders, I do think that we will be going like this to reach our target zone right here at 1.1420, or rightly to be correct is 1.1424, 4 pips above the 20 level. This is what I see on the euro and the dollar, and if it does happen that we do not get any serious selling opportunities going to the downside, of course, like this, and then we continue to go to the upside, this is still the original plan and nothing else changes. We just follow the price because price is the only reason why we are trading the markets, or we are even in the markets to begin with. So with that being said, if we do get this supply zone is still imminent and then a continuation to the downside will be best to even go to this low at 1.14700. This would be the great take profit for this week, only if we do reach the supply zones of this week. So traders, without wasting further time, let's go straight to the pound and the dollar. And traders, today with the pound and the dollar, what do I think? I believe that we are at the target zone from yesterday's momentum, and unlike the euro and the dollar, I do expect this to give us a deeper pullback to retest the last week's low to make it a supply so that we can go for that 1:3 risk to reward ratio to the downside. So this is a great place to look for bearish patterns and formations to go and look for selling opportunities. Now, traders, with that being said, let's get into this. I would like to dive deep in with you guys as I have dived deep with the real account traders community, because this analysis was for the real account traders community. We do 2 analysis every day on each pair. We do the first analysis on London session, which is this one. Everybody gets this one, including extra pairs. And then we do another one for the New York session, including extra pairs, of course, or selected pairs, or because we do have the strong versus weak currency pair system that we are using. So we do select the best pairs with the best setup. So without wasting further time, traders, let's get into this and let me show you what I think on the pound and the dollar. So with the pound and the dollar, traders, this right here is what we call the need to go up. If we do not reach this level and somehow we do come and we reach right here, touch the moving averages, of course, or the moving averages act as resistance, then this would also give us this sort of movement and then reach our daily break of structure right here at 1.2750. This would be a fantastic place to take profit at, if only if this scenario has unfolded and we have broken below this. We didn't reach, or we did reach the last week's new low right here at 1.3094, and then the break of a new low, you'll be waiting for a pullback. This would be a great place for you to get into and then continue to the downside to take out profit right here at the daily break of structure. You can also take out the daily break of structure right here at 1.2715. This would also be a fantastic place to take out structure. So this is the analysis of pound and the dollar going deeper into this week. I do not think that the pound would necessarily break to the upside. This is deemed the fewer percentage chances that this might happen. So that's why we are only looking for selling opportunities and trying to understand or pattern out the movement of the market. So with that being said, beautiful traders, let's go over to the euro and the Canadian dollar to see what it has in store for us today and break out which levels to watch also on the euro and the Canadian dollar. So traders, with the euro and the Canadian dollar, what we do have is, yesterday we were expecting a strong momentum to the upside to retest this level or our supply zone. This is why you see the path goes to the supply zone and then a break of structure and a retest and then a continuation to the downside. Now, with that being said, traders, one thing is for sure here, there is a strong, if I can circle it out for you to see it, there is a strong resistance around this level. There is a strong resistance around, even right now there is still strong resistance around this level. So if it does happen that we reach our supply zone, if it does happen that we do reach our supply zone, this would be the liquidity so that we can continue sharply down. Remember, there's strong level here, strong level here, strong level here of resistance, strong level of resistance right here, here, and also here. We will be looking for bearish patterns and formations that are valid both from this place and this place. Real account traders community analysis. So with that being said, traders, afterwards, where does the target go? From the real account traders community, of course, this is where we will be focusing our energy on at this target right here at 1.6076. This would be the target for euro and the Canadian dollar, as also this would be a great place for the liquidity to just come in after the buy to the upside, after the buy to the downside, and then we have liquidity to retest this last week's low and then a continuation to the downside. But more will follow. For now, what we are expecting is bearish patterns formations, bearish patterns and formations from this level, also from this level, so that we can continue to the downside and take out profit from those levels. Now, that is it from the euro and the Canadian dollar from us. Today we have to go straight to the euro and the pound for analysis and see the signal that was taken on Monday, how it unfolded, or was it on Tuesday. Let's just go straight to the market and see what happened. And traders, with the pound and the Canadian dollar, what we do have, it's very simply put. Yesterday I was expecting this to continue to the upside and take out this supply zone right here and look for bearish patterns and formation, and then a continuation to the downside. But instead, what we did have was rather different. This bearish engulfing momentum yesterday that happened during the live analysis, you saw it yesterday, and I did mention that if you are following this, then that means you are looking for selling opportunities. Though the pound is relatively weaker than the euro, this is what I did not expect. Now, what do we have here? We have a sort of a trend line here. So this looks like a break of the trend line. I don't personally trade trend lines, not because I think they don't work, but because they are not part of my strategy. And this is what looks like a trend line. And for guys like me, what we are expecting after this is a sure confirmation that we might not be reaching the first supply zone or even the second supply zone, but rather we have waited yesterday and we did not suffer any losses. We do not have fear of missing out. We do not have FOMO for that matter. What we are now looking for is a consolidation to the upside to retest this sell zone, look for bearish patterns and formations from this area right here, and then a continuation to the downside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. Now, traders, with that being said, I want you to pay close attention to the mindset that I do have when it comes to trading. Some of you might be thinking, well, it might be time that I start doing the panic sells or anything else. If you did not, here's an advice. If you did not see it in your analysis, or if it was not planned in your analysis, let it play out so that you can plan the second move rather than just jumping or doing a panic sell or just clicking the button just because the market is moving against you or in a direction that you didn't expect, or even if it's moving on your direction but you missed the good entry point and now you're just jumping in from this level right here. Now you're just selling from this level. This is a very toxic mindset that will get you losing, going back up, and now you start to think that okay, maybe this is going to go to the upside, and then you start to buy from here and then it keeps on going to the downside to reach this. Do you realize just by not trading on Tuesday and understanding that there's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I have saved my money from the markets? I did not chase this. I will not ever chase this. So what do I want to do, or what do I want to see? I would like to see this come down, come up to these levels, retest this 200 moving average, of course, right here, and then look for bearish patterns and formations and a continuation to the downside to take out structure right here at 1.8123. This would be a fantastic setup, of course, with the pound and the Canadian dollar. If it happens that this momentum goes above here, this only leads us to one thing, our supply zone that we do have above this level, of course. And with after the supply zone retest or the reach of this supply zone, continuation to the downside will be imminent, but the take profit will change based on how deep the pullback is, because we still on the euro and the Canadian dollar, we still haven't made no new low from last week. We're still inside. This is still an inside week, even though we do have a momentum to the downside with this currency pair. So without wasting further time, traders, we are going to the pound and the euro, or rather the euro and the pound. Let's see what it has in store for us. Now, traders, with the euro and the pound, this was the signal that was given on the weekly Forex forecast, you should go back to the weekly Forex forecast and check what we did expect and what did happen or how the market played out, of course. And this is, excuse me, this is rather the results of that signal. After getting these signals, after getting this signal, what does it mean to us? It means that we are done for the week. We already know we will not trade a pair once we have an edge on it. Now, let's go straight to the chart and let me show you what I think and why. Already, I have 1:10.12 win over this, right? This was the ratio of 1:10.12. If you have this kind of advantage, what are you looking for? You have already won 10 times what you have already risked. Are you trying to diminish that 10 times into a small amount of wins and of losses rather than wins? And if you are trying to trade again, that means you are greedy and you're not following the trading plan. Now, this kind of mindset and the setups that we do have right now are only found on the real account traders community, and it is very simple for you to join the real account traders community. You register your trading account with the exclusive XNS link. You verify your trading account details, of course, like your ID number, your phone, and your email. And last but not least, you fund the minimum of $20 and more, since we are running a special from November and December. This would only be $20. Starting from January, we go back to the $100 minimum funding for the joining of the real account traders community. So traders, with that being said, what I do see on this is what I do see on the euro and the pound. This is what I did see, of course, because it's in the past tense now. I'm no longer going to trade this. This was a fantastic setup to the upside, given the fact that this right here was the signal, and this is how it looked to us, and this is what we wanted to see, and this is how it has unfolded. This is the signal, the screenshot from this, and this is the current market condition. We are done. I'm not looking for any buying opportunities. There are some greedy people who would be like, yes, we have won 1:10. What next? What next on euro pound? No, there's nothing next. Wait for next week. In trading is not going anywhere in any country. There will always be the markets. So you have to be calm. You have to accept the losses every day. You have to build consistency, and you also have to build emotional discipline in order for you to survive in this business. So without wasting further time, traders, let's go straight to the last but not least, US dollar and the Canadian dollar. And traders, with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, it was very simply put. On Monday, we did get this signal, and after this signal, we nearly came to profit on Monday, but the market gave us a correction and we did take profit the second day, which was yesterday. Now, if you remember yesterday, I did mention that from here we might get a bullish momentum and then continue straight to the upside, and that's exactly what happened. So after that, we did have 1:10.67 risk to reward ratio. Like, you would have whatever you're risking, even if you were following the free YouTube watch list that right now on the 6 currency pairs, whatever you are risking, you would have won 20 times or 20 plus times only on 2 signals that were given on YouTube. Just imagine all the pips we are milking on the real account traders community right now. It's your time to take a step and take things very serious. This was a fantastic setup to the upside. We are also done with US dollar and the Canadian dollar. We will not be discussing US dollar and the Canadian dollar going into the middle of the week. We will not be trading this. We are already done. We've made 10 times what we are risking. What else are we looking for as traders? What else are we looking for? There's nothing to look for. So that simply means we are now done with the two pairs. Some people, after winning these two pairs, are done for the week. They don't have to stress about trying to get in, trying to figure out what to do next or how to do this. After winning two trades, they are done. So from tomorrow, we are only discussing two pairs. We are discussing the euro dollar, pound dollar, EURCAD, and pound card only, because these two will be striked out of the watch list. We are already done. We have 20 times what we are risking from only two currency pairs. This is fantastic. If you do not believe in this trading business, then this should be your wake-up call. So without wasting further time, traders, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and happy, beautiful trading going into the deeper ends of this week.